Welcome to the very first episode of Omia Agripodchat series. This series is all about introducing Omia Agribusiness and all its activities and services to the public. With me, I'll be joined by a lot of guests that I'll be hosting, and we shall be talking about topics that impact farmers and anyone out there who's interested in agriculture. And today, I have been joined by none other than the CEO of Omia Agribusiness, Razak Omia, with me in studio today. And who better to talk about Omia Agribusiness than the founder himself? You're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Davis. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I think you've rightly introduced me already.
Yeah.
Iganachi Razaki Omia. I was born and raised in Yumbe. Yumbe is on the northwestern side of Uganda. I've grown up in a farming household, and I'm the founder and CEO at Omia Agribusiness Development Group Limited. Thank you.
Yes. As a young man, I'm looking at you right now. I'm in studio right now, and I'm really inspired of what you have come up with.
Thank you.
Yes. Coming out of campus personally, I had that dream of creating a business, not in agriculture, obviously, because I was never raised in an agricultural, a pure agricultural family. Most of us are office workers. Yes, so I grew up seeing my father going to office and coming back, my mother as well. Yeah, but maybe some farming on the side. We can have a garden on the compound. And she made a terrible way of doing it in like where we play football on the compound. You find the next day your goalpost is now a banana plantation. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, so I didn't have that background. I don't have that background in agriculture, but I really wanted to create something of myself after campus. Even while joining campus, I had that idea, but I always faced a big challenge of even trying to think about what could impact people. What could impact people? What could bring a change and could also make me earn money? Someone sometime asked me a question: what would you choose, passion or money? And that question I haven't answered it, so I'm hoping to get the answer today. So to ask that some question: was it passion or the desire for money?
Okay. So I think I mentioned to you that I was born and raised in Yumbe. And, we grew up literally every day going to the garden and coming back. You go to school, and in the evening, it's the same thing. You go to the garden again and you come back. So I grew up doing that with my parents and my siblings. And I was much young, of course, and that meant I was not always with them going to the garden.
Yes.
And in 1998, when I was just about 6.5 years old, they murdered my father by
sorry about that.
rebels in a civil war in Yumbe. And thereafter, we carried on, with our mother directly getting everything, all our basic needs, whether it's food, it's school fees and everything from the farm. So firsthand, I went through, what it means to depend on agriculture for our livelihoods. I also went through firsthand seeing the direct impact of what war or conflict can do to a family. And I think this is the biggest reason I'm doing what I do right now. So fortunately, through different bursaries and scholarships, when I ended up in the university and studied agriculture, immediately, when I finished the university, I even got a job in Kampala with ABI. ABI is an organization supporting agribusinesses.
Okay.
And I was not fulfilled. I was not comfortable sitting in this Kampala job. And that is why actually 9 months later into this job, I had to resign and leave Kampala. And I came to Arua to start operations for Omia Agribusiness.
Just like that,
Group
you just decided
Limited.
and you just left?
Yeah, because then I I was not getting fulfilled. There was more fulfillment in coming out here to address a problem or a challenge through which, I grew up in Yumbe. And mainly that is what informed me starting operations of Omia Agribusiness Development Group Limited. But also, of course, you might have noticed that it's also because I ended up in the university studying agriculture. So getting that knowledge, getting the exposure, I had 1 year in Israel doing a diploma program. And even the 9 months I spent at ABI gave me all this exposure of what are the possibilities in agriculture. And then coming with this background of all the problems that smallholder farmers are facing, seeing it firsthand with my siblings and my mother and other people in the community, it was important that I would come here and start something that could contribute to addressing this big problem. So, coming back to your question of money or passion. I think for me, it was that.
It was a collabo
So
of passion and the desire for money.
I would say it's mainly the passion in me to contribute to solving the problems in which I grew up, problems that directly impacted me. And if you look across Africa, there are a lot of farming households that go through similar challenges in which I went through. So I think that's the main thing that informed the beginning of Omia Agribusiness, and that's why we are so focused on supporting the farmers to succeed fast. Because we know very well that if the farmers succeed, then it becomes obvious for us as an organization
to also succeed.
Because they are our clients. Our clients succeeding means then we'll have more people with money to actually demand the products that we do sell to them.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very inspiring story there. I'm sorry to hear about the murder of your father. I'm sorry to hear about that. And I'm really inspired. So, so you working at ABI, you said you worked there for quite a while.
9 months only, actually.
At 9 months. So it's here that you understood the agriculture sector to another level.
Yeah, so it gave me a good view into what was happening in agribusiness in Uganda, because I joined as a volunteer and an intern, and my work directly was supporting project managers, was supporting technical experts with the preliminary analysis and appraisal of proposals that came into the organization. I was also handling, I think, all the documentation. I was also, occasionally would go for monitoring visits in the field, and I could see firsthand how agribusiness was playing out in the field and how people were doing it. So it gave me a good picture of, the steps I will need to take if in future I got out there and started operations for Omia Agribusiness.
Yes, so you've got inspired, you've got a knowledge base around agribusiness and how it works. You have identified the issues that you may need to solve back home through your background, growing up, and everything. So now, having the idea is one thing. Then implementation is another. So you come back to a raw.
Exactly.
So I'm imagining myself. I've gotten all these ideas. I've worked somewhere. I've seen the problems of the people.
Yeah.
But I've come back home. I have a mother that has been taking care of me all this time.
Mm-hmm.
I have probably siblings and everyone. So how do you start even creating something like what you've created at this point?
Thank you so much, Davis. So, I came to Arua with about savings of about $1,000. That is about 3,600,000 Ugandan shillings.
Wow, savings
by then,
from your salary as an intern.
Yeah.
Wow, that was quite a lot.
So, but of course also my brothers chipped in as well. But it added up to around that. And for any small business, it's very challenging to penetrate the market. So I can tell you that there were a lot of challenges. But anyway, back to the $1,000. What did we do with it? So we had to first, I think, we rented a place for about 3 months, paid the rent, did a counter, this thing where people come and when they want to talk to you, the customers. Bought some 2 plastic chairs. They were green. I remember. I like the color green. So so they were green, and then bought some stock, a very small stock, and we started the journey. So the biggest challenge for any business, as I told you, is creating a market.
Yes, creating a market.
Getting people to actually buy your product. Because what happens with business is, I told you, you need to identify a problem, and this problem, you need to know what's being done about it in the market, and then you innovatively come up with the product that people are willing to pay for. But for people to be willing to pay for a product, they need to be aware about the product, and then they need to trust you enough to be able to buy from you. To create awareness, to create trust, it needs some kind of resources to get out there to people. So I think that was our biggest challenge in the beginning, because we didn't have a motorcycle, we didn't know how to fuel it, we could not go on radio. The only thing we had, was our small phone and the passion to cause change in the communities that we wanted to serve by then.
Yeah. So
and that was very challenging. And how I think we went about that was to leverage on relationships. There are agri officers at sub-counties who have motorcycles, who have programs with farmers. So you tag along with them to reach out to farmers to create awareness. There are NGOs that are implementing projects, and they have livelihood officers, or they have agriculture extension officers. I think by then I remember we would go to Arua District Farmers Association. One day I even went to their Monday morning meetings and introduced myself to the extension officers that, hey, I'm Razak Omia, I'm new, this is what I do. So if you have farmer trainings and you want someone to tag along, I will be here. Because you don't have a motorcycle, but here they have a motorcycle, they can carry you, and you're able to train and actually talk to the farmers.
Okay.
And then, of course, and sometimes also there are these seed companies that come, they want to do trainings, you still tag along, because you don't have the resources in the beginning. So that was the market problem. And somehow we maneuvered through those different ways to try to create the market. The second biggest challenge is of course, financial constraints.
Yes.
But it's not the first, right? If you already have people paying, sometimes people are willing. I even remember sometimes farmers leave money with us.
Oh, wow.
Then we use it to buy things in Kampala, and then we deliver it to them.
Okay.
So we're using their money to do business.
The business itself.
But that is after creating awareness and some trust. Then it gets to that level. But there comes a time when that's not enough. You need working capital. The rent of 3 months now is no longer there. The one person who is sitting with you need to pay them some allowance. Yeah. And I think our sales agronomists in the beginning, we're paying them 150K. But we're even struggling to get 150,000 to get to pay them, which is about how much? $30, $40. We're not getting that per month to pay our staff. And
I cannot imagine.
And then and because we didn't have this money, even the place we got in Arua, where we're doing the business, our current place, which is near Vira Forex Bureau,
yes,
on Rhino Camp Road in Arua City, it's hidden. No one knows. No one even goes there. It is only now that people have got to know what we do, and people are aware, and people trust us that they even go through the corridor to look for us. So in the beginning, that was a challenge as well. But it's because that is the place we could afford in the beginning as a business. And the other challenge now, I think it's operational. So I've talked about market. I've talked about financial. The other one is operational, which is day-to-day running of the operations, right? Day-to-day running means you're able to order stock.
The stock.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have enough stock, right?
True.
So those are some of the challenges. I know I can't finish to exhaust them, but those are some of the challenges that we faced in the beginning, as a business. Yeah. And, how we maneuvered them. In the beginning, they call it bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means you pulling yourself, using what you have and the small resources that you do to keep growing the business. If you have a friend that's working in a seed company, they're able to give you things for 1 million, you pay 500, and then you pay the other 500 later. That, you're leveraging on that relationship. If an organization has a bike, they're going to the field, you don't have a bike, you jump on.
Jump on.
Yeah.
You jump on it.
Yeah.
Yes, as you can hear the story, it's very inspiring. So for every young man out there or young girl out there that's looking to open up a business, I hope his story, insights within his story, can show you exactly how to do it. It is a hard journey, tedious, a lot of challenges, capital, operational, as he has mentioned, everything. It is very challenging. And I'm very, very inspired, actually, after here. I don't know if I'll resign.
We need you, man. Don't run away just yet.
I don't know if I resign to create my own business or,
We need you.
I continue working, follow my own path. Yes. But so you understood the story began when you understood everything. You have seen how things work. You have come back, built relationships, run here and here, gone for this training. You have built yourself on your relationship with other people. You've said bootstrapped yourself with the little you have. You have grown to where you are. You have built trust, and everything is there. So, how do you uniquely separate yourself? How do you start understanding more uniquely your audience?
Okay.
Because you coming in, you have ideas you've learned from somewhere.
Yeah.
You're trying to bring up. But now you've come here and you're trying to be unique. You've had something coming up. You have built relationships, everything is there. But now you're looking for ways how to differentiate yourself. And I'm very sure it involves understanding the clientele in Arua better.
Yeah.
And anyway, you're setting up a business better. So
Okay.
how do you start to think about, how do you properly understand what are those unique things that differentiate you from other agribusinesses you learned from?
So Davis, as I was telling you, after identifying the problem that the people you want to serve are facing and knowing all the existing solutions in the market, knowing means visit them, understand what they're doing. It gives you the gaps that are there in the market. And then addressing those gaps is what makes you different, which is the question that you're asking me. So when we came to Arua, so I was not saying that there were no actors there. There were different actors that are in there. And I'm actually very proud to learn from also many of them. But, you enter into agro input shops that are very dark, with the boxes everywhere, chemicals are leaking, the rooms are smelling. The person inside that is serving the farmers barely knows how to serve the farmers well, technically. And what this means is sometimes even a farmer buying a product from you, instead of it making the farmer better off, it makes the farmer worse off. So what are we doing differently as Omia Agribusiness? So what we do is we are focused on the success of the farmer. So focusing on the success of the farmer means that when they walk into the shop, that we want to give them products that work best for the enterprises that they want to engage in. We don't want to first sell. We want to first understand what their problem is and then agree with them to a practical solution that actually solves that problem before we sell the product to the farmer. And we have very good people in the team called sales agronomists that do that quite well. And when this farmer leaves the shop, we keep a record of this farmer. And this record of a farmer is taken up by our agriculture extension officers who now visit the farmer and do an on-farm support on the farmer. They visit the farmer, they do scouting, means moving around the farm, they observe, they come up with the challenges, they diagnose the problem, then they recommend a solution that will work best for the farmer. And after recommending a solution, we do follow-up after on the farmer. Still, this is towards supporting the farmer to succeed. Then, even after the production process more beautifully, now we have a sales and marketing team that go to the different local markets and they train our farmers on the market quality requirements, for the farmers, so that they are growing towards meeting a need in the market for their product. So this unique model and positioning is what makes us different from other people because they look at it as an expense to do extension services. They look at it as an expense to hire a qualified person with at least a diploma to support the farmers. And we're able to do that while still remaining profitable as a business. And even to make it better, in the rural areas where it's difficult for farmers to access products, we have people that we call commercial agents. These agents are trusted by the farmers. They've been there in the community. They know how to read and write. So we work through them to make sure that farmers are able to access our products without necessarily having to come to our retail outlets as well. And, you being in our IT department, you also know very well that we're working on digital solutions to still serve our farmers. So it's still in the pipeline, it's still in the industry. I'm not going to talk about it now, but hopefully in another episode, we'll go into the small details of how we're using technology, how we're using digital solutions to support and extend our services to the farmers. So I think it's a combination of these things that makes us different, that makes us unique from the market, that will make a farmer to choose and want to work with us as a business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can confirm. Yes, I mean IT department, IT department of Omia Agribusiness, and working on this cool app that will show to the world very soon. Yes. So, what different from what I get from you is that what differentiates Omia Agribusiness from all other agribusinesses in the country or even in the world is that they care more. We care more about the farmers, the farmer journey. We complete the whole journey from the from the moment they buy the agricultural inputs to the time they plant. We support them along the journey of planting with extension farmers, extension officers. We call them extension officers who go on ground to check on the things that you've planted. Even if you did buy from Omia or not, then at the point of harvesting, we also advise you along the way. Then also after harvesting, then to the market. So it is a complete journey. So if you are a farmer out there interested, right now is your chance to come. Leave other agribusinesses and come to me. Yes. So how do we make all this sustainable? The whole journey from where it starts from to buying inputs and then having produce to sell. How does one make this sustainable? What guarantees do you give? What guarantees do you give a farmer who has come to your shop and has bought inputs, and maybe at the time is going to have to bring his produce to sell? What guarantees are you giving this farmer?
Okay. So thank you so much. We envision in Africa where smallholder farmers have access to all the critical and key resources that they need to produce productively, to produce profitably, and to produce sustainably. So in this specific question, I want to focus on the last part of sustainably. So sustainably is defined differently by different organizations, for example. Sustainability for Omia Agribusiness could mean that if you come 3, 4, 10 years later, you need to see Omia Agribusiness existing. That means Omia needs to generate enough income to sustain its operations over that period of time. Sustainability in the context of resource utilization would mean that the same resources I'm using now should not compromise the ability of generations coming after me to use the same resources. And when we're talking about farming, we're looking at the resource starting from the soil. So this soil needs to be managed in a way that 10 years from now is still productive and people can still use it to do agriculture and make money from it. So as Omia Agribusiness, we emphasize soil and water conservation practices. We emphasize integrated soil fertility management practices and a lot of other practices. The other day I was moderating an X-Spaces talking about the importance of soil testing, which makes you to precisely know what is in the soil, what is lacking in the soil, and then you add exactly that. So some of those things are the technologies that we're promoting so that farming is sustainable. When we talk about resources, we're talking about water that farmers use to irrigate their crops. So how can we make sure that the same water source, whether it's Kenya or it's River Nile or swamp nearby a river or lake, can still be sustainable and used by generations to come? So There are technologies that avoid wastage of water. There's drip irrigation that just puts the right amount of water that's needed by the plants. There's also how to even get the water out there, which brings us to the resource of environment. So the environment, which is really generally what's around us, right? That's how we used to
yes.
define environment.
Environment in
So
primary
of
level,
course,
yes.
so if you're using a solar water pump to irrigate your crops, you're not releasing pollutants like if you're using a petrol engine or something, a fuel pump, right? If you're using fertilizers, I already talked about integrated soil fertility management. You don't want them getting into water sources and spoiling it and things like that. So there are a lot of things we're doing around farmer utilization of resources to make sure that they remain sustainable. Just to add a final one, you've seen that we're promoting varieties that are tolerant to drought. We're promoting varieties that take shorter time. We're promoting varieties that are more high yielding in a smaller unit area of land. Meaning you can get, for example, for maize, you can get maybe 2 to 3 tons in 1 acre, right? Compared to another variety that will do, for example, 600 kilos. To get those 600 kilos, if you're using that old variety, then you need more land.
You need more land.
But with the improved variety, you need a smaller piece of land to still
Get the same
gain
yield.
that productivity. So those are some of my responses to sustainability. But of course, then as a business, we have to carefully make sure that as we're supporting communities, we remain profitable to be able to sustain our operations. Otherwise, you can't talk about sustainability out there if internally as a business, you can't pay your bills the next month.
Yeah, true.
You're not sustainable, and then you can't talk about it anymore even because you're not there to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes. So sustainability, from what you've just said, sustainability is a key factor of Omia Agribusiness. Everything is considered here. So maybe you could give us what is the vision? What are the future prospects for Omia Agribusiness? What things are we looking into?
So I think I already mentioned that we envision in Africa where smallholder farmers have access to the critical resources they need for optimal productivity, profitability, and sustainability, right? And I think for us as Omia Agribusiness, because you've seen the scope, right? Africa. That means as a business, we're going to try as much as possible to serve more farmers in our current areas of operation, which are here in Arua, in Koboko, in Yumbe, in Ajumani, in Zombo, in Gulu, in Kiriandongo, in Kampala. Those are where we have physical outlets. But of course, these areas serve almost the entire Uganda as we speak. So with time, we are looking at being able to more comfortably and conveniently serve the entire country, Uganda. We're looking at expanding our wings as a business to grow into other countries in the region. There's South Sudan, there's Democratic Republic of Congo, thinking of Tanzania and Ethiopia as well. So, but we're talking long term. We're talking the next 10 years as Omia Agribusiness Development Group Limited. And with time, we are also considering involving farmers in producing some of the products we sell. Because, right now, all we're doing is distribution. We don't do any of the production. And we're also looking to buy more of what our farmers are producing. We realized that if you actually buy more from farmers, you're giving more money into their hands to enable them to buy more inputs and for them to keep growing themselves as well. And hopefully, with time, we will also, add more value to what we buy back from the farmers. So right now you see at Omia Foods, which is our component that markets what farmers produce, that we only buy, we do some cleaning and that's it, and we sell. But we hope to add more value to the products we buy from farmers so that we can also get to pay more money to the farmers, because we're not forgetting why we started. Why we started was to make the farmer to succeed. Succeed means produce more and more and live a better life, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think those are some of the prospects as we grow towards the bigger vision that I already mentioned here.
Okay. Yes, this has been a very inspiring session. We began with a background story of Omia Agribusiness itself, We went through that whole inspiring story from the start, and we have talked about what Omia does. We have talked about its vision and how it is impacting the farmers in West Nile, and how it is planning also to impact farmers beyond just West Nile.
Sorry,
and
let
over
me just
Uganda.
interrupt you. So just there. So when you're talking about impact, we've actually worked with over 46,757 farmers since we started operations. And these are farmers that have been able to access, the range of services I've talked about, which is quality, climate smart agriculture inputs, which is extension services, which is linkage to markets. And right now we're doing an impact assessment of our work with 60 decibels. 60 decibels is an impact measurement organization. And in the next few weeks, I think we should be able to release, if you keep checking our social media and even our website, that impact report that clearly, outlines how we've supported farmers over the years as Omia Agribusiness. But as I told you, it's farmers first, it's farmer focused, is ensuring farmers get to succeed.
Yeah. Yes. Just before before you interrupted me.
Sorry.
My next question to you was, what are the closing remarks you could give to farmers? And I think in that presentation I've just shared here, you have shared it. Maybe maybe you could reiterate it such that someone gets it clear out there.
So, as
it could be a brief summary.
As someone who grew up in a farming household, I want to emphasize to the farmers that it's their responsibility to be able to feed and to be able to clothe, to be able to pay fees, to be able to provide better housing for their family. And they have a very good opportunity to do this through agribusiness if they do it the right way. And in Omia Agribusiness, you have a partner that can help you do it right. So make sure that as you engage in agribusiness, you make use of the best technologies. I mean, the seeds, fertilizers and all those things. And make sure that you invest in knowledge first. It's useless whether you're doing 50 acres, 100 acres, if you're not doing it with the knowledge. And that's training that we can provide as Omia Agribusiness to these farmers. And they also normally say, before you actually start growing any crop, you need to go to the market and identify the buyers, identify the specific quality or variety that they need, then you work your way backwards. So that's the third thing I want to emphasize to farmers. But we are here to make that journey easy for you. We are Omia Agribusiness. We are a farmer-focused organization. We are happy to partner with you to make your dreams come true, because we care about your success more than our own. Because we know very well that if you do succeed as a farmer, then we automatically succeed as Omia Agribusiness.
Yes, thank you very much, CEO. Yes, so right now, we have discussed all that we wanted to discuss with our dear CEO of Omia. We're going to be having subsequent episodes in this series, and we shall be inviting guests, agriculture experts, successful farmers, and everyone to come and try to bridge the gap between agriculture experts and the farmer out there. So it has been great having you, Razak Omia, my CEO, my boss.
You, Davis. Thank you.
I will see you again at work on Monday.
So thank you
very much.
Thank you so much, Davis. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And have an incredible weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.